In this alternate 2026, the United States keeps its laws on the books, but no one is left who has to obey them.
This story is fictional. It's based on real events, but everything beyond the known facts is speculation. Our goal is to explore an alternate timeline, not to rewrite history, but to imagine what might have been.
In the second week of July 2026, President Trump did something no modern president had done before. Congress passed a housing bill, sent it to his desk, and he refused to sign it. He didn't veto it either. He just let it sit, and under the Constitution, after 10 days, it became law without his signature. It was a protest. Trump wanted Congress to attach new restrictions on voting to the bill, tighter rules on who could cast a ballot and how. Congress refused. So the president let the housing bill become law while declaring it illegitimate, a law he would not enforce with any enthusiasm. The bill itself was popular. It funded construction and expanded rental assistance, easing a crisis that had pushed millions of American families to the edge. But Trump's protest was never about housing. It was about voting and about an idea he had been pushing for months, that the president, not Congress, should decide which laws truly counted. But what if he hadn't stopped at a symbolic gesture? What if refusing to sign was only the first step, and a president who believed a law was illegitimate could simply decline to carry it out? That is where the ground begins to shift. The housing bill didn't just declare good intentions, it moved money. Federal agencies were supposed to release billions of dollars to states and housing authorities. In our alternate July, Trump instructs those agencies to slow walk the funds. Not cancel them, just delay, review them, study them. The message travels down through the bureaucracy. The president does not want this law to work. The first domino falls in the housing authorities. Cities had already signed contracts with builders based on money that was promised and frozen. In Phoenix, a developer halts a half-finished apartment complex because the federal reimbursement never arrives. In Cleveland, a rental assistance program that keeps 12,000 families housed runs out of cash in August. Eviction notices go out. The crisis the bill was meant to solve gets worse, and worst of all for the people who had the least room to fall. Then come the lawsuits. States sue the federal government, arguing the president cannot refuse to spend money Congress lawfully appropriated. This is not a new fight. The law is clear that a president must faithfully execute the laws, and lower courts rule against Trump quickly. Here the story turns dark. Trump does what he had been hinting at all along. He ignores the courts too. An appeals court orders the money released. The administration files paperwork, delays, releases almost nothing. A judge holds a cabinet in contempt. The official does not appear. Suddenly the country is no longer arguing about housing, or even about voting. It is arguing about whether court orders mean anything at all. Governors take sides. In Maine, where Democrats had spent the spring fighting Trump over voting rules, the state government announces it will stop cooperating with several federal agencies until the funds are released. Other blue states follow, and red states line up behind the president. The machinery of American government, which depends on everyone pretending to follow the same rules, starts to seize. Now the voting fight comes roaring back, because that was always the real target. With the courts weakened and the president openly defying them, Trump's allies in state legislatures moved to pass the voting restrictions Congress had refused. If the president can decide which laws count, they reason, so can they. New rules appear months before the November midterms. Some states purge voter rolls, others reject mail ballots wholesale. Democratic states retaliate by refusing to certify results they call fraudulent. By October, the crisis has spread past politics into the economy. The frozen housing money was a small slice of federal spending, but the precedent terrifies the bond markets. If a president can simply refuse to spend money Congress appropriated, then no federal contract is safe and no payment is guaranteed. Investors who lend money to the United States begin to demand higher interest to cover the new uncertainty. Borrowing costs rise. A government that had always been the safest bet on earth suddenly looks unpredictable. Mortgage rates climb on top of a housing market already in chaos. Construction stops in cities across the country, and the layoffs ripple out from the building trades into everything that depends on them. The recession that follows was not caused by a market crash or an oil shock. It was caused by the loss of a single quiet assumption that America is real and that everyone, including the president, has to follow it. The midterms arrive in a country that no longer agrees on how to count votes. Some states send one set of results, others refuse to recognize them. Congress cannot agree on who was even elected. For the first time since the Civil War, serious people in serious places begin arguing about whether the United States still has one government or several. Here is where the chain reaction stops, and here is what it leaves behind. A president discovered that the whole system rested on his willingness to obey it, and he chose not to. The courts issued orders that no one enforced. The money meant to keep families in their homes never moved, and the families never got their homes. The economy cracked not from greed, but from doubt. And the November elections, the thing that was supposed to let the people settle all of it peacefully, produced no answer anyone would accept. The lights stayed on. The soldiers stayed in their barracks. There was no single dramatic collapse. Instead, there was something quieter, in its own way, worse. An America where the words in the law books still existed but no longer meant anything. Where power belonged to whoever was willing to ignore the rules. Where the simple, boring promise that a bill becomes a law and a law gets obeyed had been broken so completely that no one could remember how to put it back together.
In this world, history went one way. But here, we ask what could have happened. If you want more alternate timelines and government what-ifs, subscribe, comment your theory, and stay tuned. This is State of What If.